Which way are you voting in the election?
Which election?
The general election! The British election is underway.
You know, we've got great policies for the economy, including the cost of living!
And we are not sure who's going to win. Well, that's a lie. Everyone knows Labour's going to win. But nonetheless, we've been out and about in London asking real people what they think about the election. But because it's raining, we decided to get a cab over to Parliament Square. Come on. You're disgruntled with the election. Why?
No one's saying anything new. Nothing's going to change.
Do you not think there's an argument to say Labour will make it even worse?
No, they can't make it worse than it is already.
What do you reckon's the biggest issue in the election?
For me, it's cost of living crisis, but for the Conservatives and reform, it's probably immigration.
What do you think should happen next?
We need a Labour government, for sure.
Why do you like them?
They're for the common man, they're for the people. You've got reform and you've got Conservative. Keep going on about immigration. That's not the main issue. You get about 50, 60,000 people coming over illegally. Nothing compared to it.
Yeah, but what about the fact that 3% of British residents now came to Britain in the last 2 years?
That's 3%. What about the other 97%?
Well, they're screwed as well, if I'm being totally honest. I've been reading The Sun too long. That's probably right. So here we come. We're coming up now to Big Ben. This is what it's all about. We had so many problems in this country that Big Ben almost fell into the hole created by the new tube station, which it's still not straight, is it? Mind you, I'll say one thing about Big Ben. It's not as bent as the guys that are inside that parliament. They're a disgrace. Which is the worst political party in this election?
Fuck off.
Why are you so upset?
Just get away from me.
No, but why?
No way.
Why not?
Go away.
Don't be miserable.
Just fuck off.
I can't do anything about that. Who is the worst political party?
Labour.
It looks like Labour are going to win a huge majority. Why do you say the Conservatives are still worth voting for?
And I'm not. I'm voting for reform.
Why are you voting for reform? So that's Nigel Farage's party.
Because all three main parties, they're not doing anything for the British people. They're just pretending that they do something. They're a bunch of clowns.
There is an argument that says reform on 15%, the Conservatives on 17%, Labour on 40%. Really, you're just splitting the vote.
Put your vote what is meaningful to you.
And what about this issue of immigration? Is that the defining issue of the election?
That and the cost of living. Both.
Are you going to vote for Nigel Farage?
No.
Come on.
I don't live in Clacton.
Okay, right. So
There are only 70,000 people in the country who can vote for Nigel Farage, and they're the ones who live in Clacton. He's not going to be the Prime Minister. He's probably not even going to be an MP, because he's just going to split the Tory vote and let Labour in.
What do you think is the political party that is most dangerous in this election?
The Labour Party.
Why?
Because they're socialists.
And why is socialism bad for Britain right now?
Because it takes power away from people, it stops them making their own choices, it costs more, and it delivers poorer services.
Who's the worst political party in this general election?
I'm from Chile.
Chilean people. If they were to be able to vote in Britain, which way do you think they'd vote?
Center right.
Would they really? Why is that?
Currently we have a leftist government not going too well, very low approval rating. Pendulum is swinging the other way, as it normally does, one way and another.
But which political party do you hate most?
We're Canadian.
But which political party in Canada do you hate most? Come on, Trudeau.
No, Pierre, definitely.
We definitely hate Pierre.
They're going to be very unhappy when I'm Prime Minister.
Okay. On the topic, in terms of your...
No, any Conservative person anywhere, definitely.
But you've got to support Trudeau. He's Canada's first black Prime Minister.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sorry, I'm joking. Which way are you voting in the election?
I'm American.
Oh, which way are you voting in the American election?
Democrat.
Really? So you're not a big fan of Donald Trump?
Not at all.
Hello there.
Which way are you voting in the election?
What?
Which way are you voting in the election?
Which election?
The general election!
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God, why is nobody interested? Which way are you voting in the election?
I have no idea.
Okay, but are you from Saudi Arabia?
Nah.
Oh, really?
Excuse me, sir. Everyone is being positive about this election. Can you just tell me which political party you hate?
Oh, well, I'm German, so...
I've got to be honest with you, I'm starting to think that maybe wandering around Westminster is not the best place to do the interviews.
You might be right with that.
Yeah. What is the worst political party in this election?
I'm from India.
What is the worst political party in India?
Alliance, which is in opposition, is the worst thing.
I'm going to accept that it's time to leave Parliament Square because everyone here's a tourist. So let's move on to the rest of London. Have you got any political parties you really hate?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
Because I can't tell you, I'm not allowed to.
So you're politically restricted?
Yes.
Political restrictions. Are you working for MI5? Are you a spook?
No.
Police officer? Dangerous extremist? Nigel Farage's PA? Come on. Are you politically restricted?
No, but I don't live here.
Where do you live?
Singapore.
Okay, is there any party in Singapore?
There is
Your
no-
particular party? There's no parties in Singapore.
There's only one.
That's right. Which is the worst one and why?
Oh, God. I'd say it's the Green Party by a country mile. I mean, they're just boring people. Could you imagine? You know, they want to get rid of cars. They want to stop you eating meat.
My God, that's Chesley Hawkes. No, I'm sorry. This is one of Britain's most famous pop stars. What is the worst bit of it?
The talking about it.
Is there anything good that can come from this election?
I don't think so, mate.
Why not?
I think I'm not allowed to swear, am I?
Yeah, you can.
I think we're fucked.
Why? Your song and your career connected massively with young people in the 90s. How on earth can politics and media connect with them now?
I honestly think it's about finding that relatable leader that we don't have. We don't have it in Rishi Sunak because he doesn't understand what the everyday man goes through.
Why the Green Party then?
So I believe they're the ones that are raising the income tax.
All I'm thinking right now is Rishi Sunak, right? He's been brought up in this big rich family. He hasn't got a clue of what everyone else in the UK lives like.
But he's got a satellite dish outside
He
the
doesn't
pharmacy.
know what everyone else in the
That's
UK lives like. He's lived in his own world. I'm not having it, and that's what a lot of people don't.
Everyone's been positive about the election.
Yeah.
Can you say something negative?
Yeah, it's crap. Absolute rubbish. They're all useless. I wouldn't bother voting if I were you. What about that?
You are one of the biggest names in Conservative media,
Yeah.
and actually still you are not interested in either Conservatives, Reform or UK.
No, I'm not, because actually the problem is that people have now got themselves into a situation where they think politicians can help them. Politicians can't help you. Politicians cannot make your life any better. Do yourself a favour, get yourself a decent job, make yourself some decent money, get yourself a family, protect them, live well, and stay the hell away from politicians, okay?
Absolutely right.
Thank
That is Mike Graham. Thank you so much. Look at this. This lad's loving it. He's
hell.
never heard that.
Hey,
That's it.
7 years of school, I've just learned more in fucking 2 minutes. Thank you so much.
Which political party do you most hate?
I'm going to go Reform.
Why?
Nigel Farage is a bastard, and I fucking hate them.
Why is he a bastard?
Because he stands against everything that is like positive, everything that is like going to promote this country in a good direction.
Is it possible that you genuinely believe, and I'm not being critical of it, that there is a moral point here that actually anti-immigration, anti-EU is actually immoral?
Yeah, I do think anti-immigration is immoral. I think these people need a home. They've clearly been kicked out of their country because they just can't live there. They can't get a good standard, and I think we can't justify morally kicking them out and refusing to keep them.
And what about the numbers of people coming over, and what about the difficulty of working out who deserves to be here and who doesn't?
I think it is difficult, but I think you've got to give a place here to everyone that's like genuinely can't get a decent standard, like what we would describe as a decent standard of living in another country. I think we have to offer them. I mean, we're a pretty well-off country. We have the facilities to do it. But I think we have to.
You look like a relatively first-time voter.
Yeah.
How many of your mates feel the same way as you?
I do. I believe most young people want to vote Greens. That's the main party we're all looking to vote for. But we don't feel it's got enough power. But we believe that Labour, we're sort of forced into voting for Labour as a tactical vote.
This election, what's it all about?
Labour are going to win in a landslide, and it will be totally undeserved. I think they're riding a wave of anti-conservatism. They are tired of the government. The government is in itself tired. I think the next 5 years is going to be very interesting for Britain. I think Labour will change this country in a very radical way. And will it be able to undo it? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Obviously, things are changing. Macron is under threat. Italy is significantly changing in terms of its political outlook. I don't think we necessarily in Britain understand what's going on in Europe as much as we should, but nonetheless, there is a massive backlash against the immigration or pro-immigration teams.
Oh, definitely. What we're seeing in Europe is a rise of I think, I don't want to say populism, but I don't know really what word to use. It's a rise of people just...
Honesty.
I think honesty, I think that's the right word. I think people have had enough of just being lied to. They can see the changes in their countries, they see the changes in their communities, and politicians going around saying, oh no, this is a good thing, this is a good thing. I'm sorry, people have just had enough of that. It's interesting that that hasn't happened in the UK, not in the way that we've seen across Europe, but I think there will come a time. Like, you see, reform is on the heels of the Conservative Party, and I think we will see this eventually, but like everything, we are just a little bit lagging behind.